In this episode of Talking Match Covers with my dad, Jack discusses how he's never specialized while collecting match covers. He's got covers in just about every category you can think of. He also touches on the old Group 1 sets, along with what his plans are for his collection once he's up in the sky playing baseball games all day, every day. How he has added to his collection over the years, along with how he adds to it today, are also discussed, along with recollections of purchasing a collection in St. Paul, Minnesota many years ago. This collection contained what became and remains his favorite match cover of all time.
Some guys and gals specialize on what they collect, and they're smart. I'm stupid. Upstairs is about 500,000 match covers, and it goes all the way from if you want to become a draftsman or electrician, send this, or a lawyer. And I think some of the lawyers have taken those match covers to heart and got their degrees from the match covers. If anybody's a lawyer out there, don't take offense. It's just a lawyer's joke. But all the way to the two famous Lindbergh covers. So my collection goes from want to be a draftsman or a lawyer or whatever else you want to be, go to school, all the way up to those covers. So you have quite a spread of covers upstairs. You know, I don't think there's any business that somehow, somewhere isn't up there in one of those albums.
It's unbelievable. Now, how did you get a hold of most of those covers? Do you collect most of them yourselves? Or did you trade with people? Or how did you come upon all these covers?
Well, I say in the old day, Dad and myself, when I was out there, when I go on vacation, when I worked for McDonald's Corporation, I'd go out and have dinner, and then, Jesus, if I had nothing else to do, I'd go through the town I was in collecting match covers. It was easy back in those days because everybody had matches.
Oh.
I'd go to Florida on vacation. Boy, every place I went I could get matches. I go to Florida now and I can't get matches because it's a smoke-free state, but as a lot of states are.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult. So how do I get matches now? eBay comes into play, but I find as I look at that eBay, there's some terrific covers on there, but the price people are getting for this piece of cardboard is ridiculous. And I've been caught up with it a few times. Don't kid yourself, but it's stupid. Girly covers, I've got a small collection of girly covers, and I like to add to it. But when some guy is bidding $20 for a piece of cardboard with a half-naked woman on it, I don't get too excited. I say, finally at 84 years old, I've realized that it's not the end of the world if I don't have that cover, and you know, I probably never will get that half-naked woman, but for $20, no thank you. But some guys are paying that, and God bless them. Everybody's got a right to their opinion, but what they want to remember is they're never going to get every single match cover, listed match cover, girly match cover that there is. And there are very few listed things that everybody has everything of. There's a few that everybody has the whole set and complete set. I think Bob Borton has those Group 1 covers pretty well squared away on the sports. I think he's got the whole collection, which is fantastic.
You've got a pretty substantial collection yourself.
It's a fantastic collection.
Yeah.
I've seen it. He's had it on display. It's beautiful. It's a great collection. I've got the silver hockey set complete, which there aren't too many of those out there. There's a few, but not too many.
No.
And it's neat. And I'll go back to when I was a young fella collecting. So here again, it would have been 42, 43. But I say, and I see all these football and baseball and hockey covers, that the old Group 1 stuff, and they were sold in Woolworths. F.W. Woolworths had them. And I would have been too young. I would have been 5 or 6 years old when they had those, but I always, in the town I lived in, there was a Woolworths, and I'd always go in there to buy toy soldiers and whatever else. But I'm sure I couldn't have got the matches. My mother wouldn't have let me buy the matches, but I'm sure I walked by those things many times. I would have had a tremendous collection of those. Being 5 or 6, 7 years old, it didn't quite work out. And those are great covers. Some of those covers are terrific. And there's no Babe Ruth or Lou Gehrig in there. People keep looking for Babe and Lou, and they say that they wouldn't give them enough money to do it, so they didn't do it.
There are a lot of Hall of Famers in that set, though.
Oh yeah, they sure are.
Same thing with football, not just baseball, but with football.
Bronco Nagurski. You put him on eBay, and you get a couple of $100 for an old Bronco and a piece of cardboard for $200.
Yeah, we had sold those in the past, and boy, some big money.
Well, it's everybody has their own thing. So how do I get them? Yeah, eBay. Not as much as I could, but the heck with it. I'm not going to pay that kind of money. It's stupid.
No, I don't blame you.
It's stupid. Hey, I'm 84 years old. What's going to happen to the collection? when I pass away, you're going to have the collection. You know what the worth of it is up there, and you probably have a few people call you, and they want to come out, and there's a lot of junk up there. And as I say, junk. You want to be a lawyer, you want to be a drafter, that's junk. Nobody wants that stuff. But
No.
me, I got it, and why I don't know, but it's up there. But hotels, restaurants, banks. I mean, who wants that stuff? But if you're smart, there's some hotels with pictures on them and other historical stuff on there that, hey, to me, they're worth something. To the guy next door could care less about it.
Well, you've got just about every category. You got, Navy ships, you got, U.S. Army stuff, you've got radio stations that go back into the 40s. You got all sorts of, it's such a, it's a general collection, but boy, you seem to have specialized over the years in all these different categories. It's just incredible what you find up there. Trucks, trains, some of those trains are unbelievable.
I bought a few collections over the years that have been very helpful. You were with me when I bought a collection out in Minneapolis, St. Paul. You and
yes.
Dwight, my other son, we went to a baseball game. Baseball games, we went out to see the world famous Red Sox play, the Twins, and there was an ad in the RMS Bulletin before we left for the games that this fella had passed away and his wife was selling the collection. Well, by gosh, that morning, first morning there, we called her up and drove over to her house. She was over in St. Paul, and we bought the whole darn collection. We had to pack it up in boxes and ship it home. We obviously couldn't take it on a plane. Took me about 2 years to go through the whole collection.
That was quite a day going into that person's basement where they had all that stuff. Oh, what a beautiful collection that was.
Beautiful collection the man had, and I've been fortunate. Ralph Arnold sold me a few of his categories, DQs and some trains, some agents, railroad agents, which people love to get those railroad agents. But in the Krinky collection, it took me about almost 2 years. Here again, I was working in the business. I had a McDonald's restaurant. I spent a lot of time there. Maybe I get an hour or two a day to fit in to work on the matches. And one night, it was about 11 o'clock, I let out a shout, and the wife said, "What's the matter?" I was upstairs, and she came running up, and there it was in my hand, my favorite match cover. It's a McDonald cover. Mr. Krinky had it. It was out of St. Paul, Minnesota, Minneapolis, and it has the red and white billing with the yellow arches and the 15-cent hamburger. And that would have been a 1955 cover. And I know when I pass, you're going to ask McDonald's if they want that cover for the museum. We've been to the museum.
Yeah, we sure have.
The two boys and I have been out to the McDonald Museum in Des Plaines, Illinois, which opened in April of 1955. These had birthdays coming up for McDonald's again. And they didn't have we looked for the match covers, and they didn't have any. And my guess is that they would love to have that red and white tile 15-cent hamburger match cover framed and stuck in their museum. So.
Boy, that's amazing to me. After all these years, you've still got ketchup flowing through the veins because, after all those beautiful covers up there you have, and hey, that's a nice cover too. But boy, McDonald's is your favorite cover. That's unbelievable.
That's my favorite cover, and my second favorite. If I can ever dig it out and find it, my bad thing would be the first one I ever picked up. But it looked like I can see it. I can see everything. It was yellow and green, but I can't come up with the name. But one of these days, I'm going to sit down and go through my barroom collection. I'm going to find it because I know exactly what it looks like, and it was out in Boston. Dirty old cover in the gutter that my brother-in-law to be got me going on the hobby.
That's amazing. That one event, and that easily could have just been thrown away, and but you really turn it into something, a lifelong hobby and really lifelong interest.
Hey, I've been doing that, and people say you're crazy. People go upstairs and look at the thing. They're amazed when they see the stuff up there, because I say there's a tremendous amount of history up there. And